Welcome to another podcast of the current situation at Manchester United. I know I should have done a match reaction last night, but I wasn't feeling up to it, so I'm going to be doing a video podcast for you guys. This is going to also be in line with a few other talking points in terms of Manchester United, like what's the latest update in terms of the latest news in regard to Manchester United. So I'm going to be covering all of that in this video podcast, which I want to keep less than at least 30 minutes. Alright, let us just get into a few of the talking points. Let me see this straight from yesterday's game. What did I tell you guys? No, it was quite a prediction based on my end, because I thought Manchester United had the power, the willpower, and the attacking options to actually beat Aston Villa yesterday. But it shows you, and I've been saying this for the longest time, and I'm going to keep on saying it, that it doesn't matter who you're starting, it doesn't matter who you're playing. If you don't have an implemented symmetric style of play, it's not going to be as effective. And Manchester United was caught out quite a few times yesterday, and I'm saying that quite sarcastically. If you see how Manchester United was playing, particularly in the second half, I wouldn't say we were running out of steam, because we had way more we had gas in our tanks, although I wasn't a part of the squad playing on the pitch. But seeing how Manchester United was playing in terms of their energy output, it wasn't matching. Okay, let me start from right here, so, because I don't want to be skipping into the second half when I haven't covered the first half. In the first minutes of the game against Aston Villa at home, we're actually doing decent. We're doing some pressing. We're actually attacking. Some shots were taken. Chances were created. Not much you could complain about in terms of the first half, but things kind of turned for the worse in the second half, and we had chances we could have scored. We should have scored, but those chances were not put to bed. I don't know if those guys had a big jellyfish breakfast or something, where they just didn't have the any more space to finish. But things just wasn't in Manchester United's favour. Now, what I've told you guys, and some of you guys know this, is that Man United lacks a style of play, man. And I'm just going to keep on saying it. It's not that we don't have the players to progress. We have the players to progress. But if we want to make that much of a success, we have to have a successful manager. Or have to have a successful or at least a manager that knows what he's actually doing. We cannot have a manager that is not implementing a style of play on the pitch for the side that they have. Again, this is not golf, where it is an individual sport. This is not tennis, and even in tennis, actually in a few games, in terms of double teaming, you're going to need a partner. So you cannot just be one. You just cannot be one side by your own side. You have to have someone alongside you to be doing that. So even in that type of sports, you're going to need another person. In football, it's different. And Gary Neville, I know my man has been watching my video podcast, because he's been saying the same thing I've been saying for a long time. This is what Neville, I believe this is Gary Neville, not Phil Neville, because Phil Neville is coaching females. No, actually, he's actually coaching Inter Miami in America, so he's no longer with the England female squad, so he's kind of upgraded. Kudos to you. Now, what has my boy Neville stated? Because there hasn't gone a day where this dude hasn't said a word. What has he said? Where is that comment he's basically saying? Because he was basically saying that a bunch of Manchester United players needs to be playing as a side. I've been saying that for the longest of time. So I think he's been watching my video podcast and trying to reiterate what I've basically said. But since he's more in the open more than me, because nobody knows me and everybody knows him, they're going to pay more attention to him than me. But that's what I've been saying long before he have said it. So he's going to get the highlights, he's going to get the dim light, everything. I'm not going to be getting that. But that's my talking point. So I think he's been watching my video. I mean, people have been saying that, but But yeah, he's been saying that the problem with United is that they aren't united. That's the fun thing about Manchester United. Your name is Manchester United, but you're not united as a team. That's ironic, man. That is what you would call an oxymoronic statement. You cannot be a United side, but you're not united, man. We have a lot of players that is based on that's based on individual brilliance, but at the same time, man, we have to play as a unit, man. This was a problem why Brazil in 2006, although I was alive to tell the tale, but I went through the details of history, because history is very factual. In 2006, in the World Cup, persons were gearing Brazil to win that tournament. If you look in that squad, there was no player that you would consider an average player. That side was stuck with stars in every position. So you could not look on the Brazilian side in 2006 that was given the green light after winning the Confederation Cup in 2005, saying that this side could not win the World Cup. And despite them going to the quarterfinals, that wasn't enough, definitely, for the type of the quality they had, because that side was filled with talent. It had a lot of players that were leaders. It had a few players that were actually going to play their last tournament, with Cafu and Roberto Carlos. So yeah, man, it's not that they weren't playing as a side, it's just that they had players that were trying to do individuality themselves. They played as a side, yeah, more often than not, but it wasn't convincing. Yes, they won games in 2006, but it wasn't convincing based on the documentary that I watched. Isn't me? So as good as a side Brazil was in 2006, man, in the World Cup, there was no unity, although they were given the green light to win the tournament. So what I'm basically saying here is that Manchester United has to have an implemented style of play, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to go his own way. It has to be one out of the two, man. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't implement a style of play that he believes is suitable and effective for Manchester United to progress, then he has to go himself, man. He has to go. He has to get sacked. It's too long that Manchester United has been taken for a joke. We need a style of play. Yes, we have a director of football. We have taken that off of the shelf. We did that last year, if not earlier this year. So that's no longer an issue for us to worry about. We have one of the best players in the world coming back to his old club. We have players that can actually win games by themselves. But we cannot make that the MO of Manchester United, man. We're actually a side that comes together, work together as a unit, and move forward at the same tone. They don't wait. They don't quote unquote speak out of terms. Like if one part of the side is saying, "Yo, we go here," so one other side is saying, "Wait till 5 more minutes and we go here," so that's not going to be a unit side. That's not going to be a unit side. Notifications. So what I'm basically saying here is that we need a style of play, man. In that game, Mason Greenwood was trying to glorify himself in a few shots, and I love Mason Greenwood. Greenwood, I think he's going to be, if he keeps his head down, if he gets down under it and pull up his socks, I think he can actually go far in the footballing realm. But that performance yesterday was very shocking from Greenwood. Yes, he had a few chances, There were a few chances he could have given it to someone in a better position to score, but he wanted to go for glory himself. Pogba was decent. Pogba could have done better, of course. Ronaldo wasn't that. He wasn't. You see, Ronaldo, man. The thing with Ronaldo is that he's not going to be. Who? Manchester United fans slam Paul Pogba's. Bro, see, I don't want this video to be long, man, but see, this is where the problem starts. If you're criticizing, antagonizing, and putting the blame on the name of a certain player in a squad and leaving out the others and other players out of the squad, that's going to create tension, man. We don't want any tension, man. That's the last thing we need to have. If we're going to criticize a player, you have to criticize the squad, because the player is a part of the squad. Yes, there are some players that have better performance, vice versa, but I say at the end of the day, we're all one. We're all one. We play for the same club, we support the same club, we bleed the same club. So I don't see why fans are putting Paul Pogba under the bus. And again, this is not nothing that is new to Paul Pogba. Pogba's been getting that since his first season at United. So this is not nothing new to Paul Pogba. Next piece of news is that Dortmund warned Manchester United about Jadon Sancho's problem. I wonder what this article has for me to read about. Jadon Sancho is made just for. I wonder what's the problem now. Because see, Jadon Sancho is a young youth, man. He's going to make mistakes. He's not a utopian type of person. He's not carved out of perfection. All of us have flaws to our game, whether it's in football or in life, period. So if this is something that is very detrimental to Manchester United, then yes, this is something we need to look into. But we have to be behind the squad, man. You have to be behind the squad. I'm trying to look for the problem that Dortmund has warned Manchester United about, as if they had a phone call and say, yo, remember that player sold to you 2 months ago, named Jadon Sancho? He said, yeah, man, what's up with him? Yeah, man, Jadon Sancho, man, there's this problem you have to look out for, because yes, he's a delightful type of player, but you see me, those types of players, man, that have all the bling bling, the player that has this lavish lifestyle and everything, there's some flaws to his character, so you have to look out for him. Yes, we sold him to you, but I'm just trying to put you on game, you see me, I'm trying to look out for you. So I guess that's what Dortmund is trying to do to Manchester United. But the problem, I don't think there's much of a big issue. Oh, so this is what it says here based on what I'm seeing. Jadon Sancho finding his feet. This is a quote from someone. It's unfortunate that he fell ill just when he was about to come in. So he was out and he lost a bit of preseason, but he's looking. You can't write an article, can you? This is what you call a clickbait type of article. If you do, I'm trying to look for. If I was to guess, which I don't really want to do, but if I was to guess what the problem what Manchester United really have, because they haven't seen it as yet, but what Dortmund had with Jadon Sancho is probably, I don't want to even say it because it's overrated, but it's attitude. I don't even want to go there, bro. I really don't want to go there. But anyway, CR7 was saying that CR7 was very non-existent in our loss yesterday. And it goes to show you again, we cannot be having an individual performance. This is not golf. This is not Sprinting, evening sprinting, at least for the relay, you're not going to run by yourself. You're not going to do a 4x1 by yourself unless it's a 4x run. If it's a 4x run relay, you're not going to run the relay by yourself, man. You're going to have teammates on your side, man. So we have to be playing as a squad, not only as a squad, but we have to play as a unit. The reason why small sides are able and have the capabilities of beating bigger sides is because they play as a unit. Villarreal played as a unit against us, and it's funny I mention him because we're going to play against them in the Champions League. That would be interesting. But in the EuroLeague final in May of this year, Manchester United was behind the 8th ball. We were second best. If we were at our best, even at all, which wasn't the case. And we lost to Villarreal, who finished 7th in La Liga. 7th in La Liga. Yeah. So we have to really consider how we actually play on the pitch. We need a style of play. Seems boring to talk about. So yeah man, you can't be talking about no self-play, man. It's something deeper than self-play, bro. When it comes down to football, there's one thing that's going to ring out, and that's a style of play. There is nothing that is more important on the pitch than a style of play. Of course, you're going to need the players to play this style of play, but at the same time, you need a style of play. So the next piece of news, it says here, he wouldn't get a game in League 2. Pundit blasts Manchester United star. I wonder who is this now. So former England international Michael Gray has slammed Manchester United's Aaron Wan-Bissaka after his performance against Aston Villa. What? Bro, dude. Not Aston Villa. Aaron Wan-Bissaka played decent yesterday. I don't see where this hatred is coming from for that of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So he's basically saying that without the defensive prowess of Wan-Bissaka, he wouldn't get a game in League 2. People need food on their table. So they're going to talk about anything because they know that they're getting paid by even saying these stuff. They don't care if they're wrong. They don't care if they want to be right, but if they're wrong and it makes them money, they're not going to have no problem with that. But it's based on what you say, man. What you say is going to sell, man. Especially if you're a pundit. So that's what he basically told Talk Sports. And whenever Talk Sports is in the mix, you have in the mix, bro. You have to take a pinch of salt with that. That is not really you have to take a pinch of salt with that because it's not you can't take that seriously, man. Talk Sports, sometimes you can't take them seriously. A person saying that Wan-Bissaka, man can't play for in League 2, then I mean, can you play in League 2? Could you play in League 2? Okay, finally, before I close this video podcast, and I know this video podcast on Bruno Fernandes, and I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering, what is up with this dude, man? He's missing about, man. I'm just not feeling at it, bro, because I'm going to finish on this talking point. You thought I forgot about the penalty, huh? All the horses. Cristiano Ronaldo's perfect response to Bruno Fernandes' penalty statement. As you guys know that when Manchester United got a penalty, we had Cavani on the pitch. We have CR7. He wasn't substituted. You don't substitute one of your best players if you're looking for a goal. He was on the pitch with Bruno Fernandes and Edison Cavani, who came on. And we have Greenwood on the pitch. And was Jadon Sancho on when the penalty was given? I think not. But at the same time, we had at least two lethal, legendary, world-class, ruthless strikers that's known for their goals. And we have this dude that made his name at Porto 2 seasons ago. Not Porto, at Sporting Lisbon. And we brought him in because he got over 30 goals and over 20 assists as a midfielder. Because we thought we were going to get the Portuguese Lampard, right? We gave this dude the penalty to take. Now, given his record of not missing, you would expect him to score from that position. But bro, when you have CR7 on the pitch or even Cavani on the pitch, bro, you have no say so in that penalty choice, man. You have to go take your seat, sip on your wine, and relax yourself. Make CR7 take that penalty, man. You have no say so in that bracket, man. Again, you have been decent for 3 seasons, including your Sporting Lisbon career, man. Cavani has way credible. Cavani knows the back of the net. CR7 definitely knows the back of the net. So when you have these two players on, although you're the captain, because the main captain is I'm all over the place. Luke Shaw got injured. Harry Maguire got injured. So it's going to be very interesting how Manchester United progresses with those two crucial injuries, because those are two crucial players. Again, Luke Shaw was the best left back in the Premier League last season. Harry Maguire is trying to find his feet, trying to settle in, trying to be content. So Bruno Fernandes was given the captain's armband, but at the same time, bro, if at that level of amplitude, with persons and fans anticipating an equalizer in the diamonds of the game, you should be giving the penalty to a seasoned veteran player that knows how to score goals. Not saying that you don't know how to score goals, but at the same time, this dude has a higher pay grade than you in the game. It's not because you have the armband on your left hand doesn't mean that you have a say-so on who's going to take the penalty, because it says here that he scored 21 out of 22 penalty kicks for United. And the 23rd penalty that he took, I think someone is saying that ball is still skying, man, because that penalty, man, it reminds me of Sergio Ramos's penalty that he took against Bayern Munich in the Champions League semi-finals in 2012. My man skied it, man. He skied it, man. He skied it out of the stadium, out of the pavilion. If I didn't know any better, I thought that went for 6. And that's not even cricket. So that's something we need to work on, man. We need set piece specialists. If CR7 is on the pitch, make him the set piece specialist in terms of penalties, not free kicks, because my man hasn't scored. He hasn't been at his best in terms of free kicks since 2015, if not 2014. On penalties, that's my man's bread and butter. That's his grain of gravy. Give CR7 the penalties to take. If he's not on the pitch and Cavani is on the pitch, let Cavani take those penalties. If Cavani is not on the pitch and Bruno Fernandes is on the pitch, then let him take the penalties. That should be the routine in terms of penalties. We cannot have no random person taking penalties. Because if the game was drawn, and we got a penalty at another penalty to finish the game to win it, do you think Bruno Fernandes would take that penalty? Do you think Bruno Fernandes would take that penalty? I think not. So this is very telling on what Manchester United needs to do in terms of the squad, man, because we have the players to actually progress, but if we want to actually get success, we have to have a serious style of play, man, and a manager. So what's your guys' thoughts on the game, man? Our midfield was overrun. We lost the midfield battle with the Mark Fred. I knew the Mark Fred was going to start. I knew it was going to start. And if it wasn't going to start, it was going to come at some point. It's not a matter of when, is if. No, it's not of if, it's when. I'm always mixing myself up. Not the best way to start a week, huh? Now, leave your comments down below in the comment section. I'm happy enough to read them in the next video podcast, if I do have another video podcast. But yeah, I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section, man, because we could have done better with the individual and the personnel that we have on the pitch, man. That's not an excuse to use, bro. Aston Villa has gotten their first win at Old Trafford since 2009. That's over a decade. I mean, I'm all about breaking records, but that is a record that we should not. That should not be remade, man. We cannot allow small sides to come at Old Trafford, and get 3 points, man. That should not be happening. I'm on 25, so I guess I did good. So leave your comments down below in the comment section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that post notification bell. Leave your comments down below as well. Disappointing performance. We can do better, man. Well, this should not lower our morale. This should just leave us to questioning ourselves. Yes, we got an L, but we should always take the lesson out of that L. We should always take the lesson out of that. There is always a lesson learned when taking an L. Always. So that is how we need to progress in order to get success. And I'll show it to you guys in the next video podcast. Peace.